All right, wonderful. Okay, so we're going to get started with our dark moon ceremony. And as we, mentioned earlier about the dark moon, that the dark moon is like the 3 days before the new moon. And we're really working already with the new moon energies. The way that I work with the dark moon is that the way the dark moon symbolically is all about releasing, dissolving. It's an opportunity to merge with the mother, the divine dimension of the great mother, the source mother, the primordial mother, where we can just rest, where we can just kind of be in that womb space where we are nurtured, where our souls are being nurtured, like if we were, in the womb space before we came into this incarnation. And so that is your typical, dark moon energy, dark moon opportunity. Uh, and each, the way that I work with the dark moon, because there's different ways, is that I use it as an opportunity to release, let go of all of the places within our hearts, any of the pain places or the narratives that prevent us from receiving the new moon energies. So we're moving into a new moon of Pisces, right? And so the new moon energies of Pisces is, so we're going to get some overlap here because of it's Pisces, which is very, like I said earlier, it's like very connected with a dark moon. But the Pisces energy is about like the unconditional love. It's about the compassion. It's about the oneness. It's about the void. It's about being in that nourishment of the dark where we don't, where we don't even when we're not really in our individualized self, which would be more like an Aries energy. It's like the Pisces. It's like we are the water that flows with everything. We are one with the divine. And in the dark moon, before that, it's like, well, what is in our hearts? Where are the pain points that we can actually bring in this dark moon energy of where we are not allowing ourselves to be with that, right? So let me put it, I'm gonna unpack that a little bit. Um, the shadow side of Pisces is feeling like a victim. It's like feeling like all these injustices, but then there's this added layer of how all of these injustices or suffering that we've gone through, in some way we're kind of self-blaming ourselves. We're feeling the places where we feel not just like abandoned, but then there's this level of self-blame, shame. There's this level of where we are wrong, where it's our fault, and where we feel unworthy, maybe. So these are some of the words we can use. And it's like where we have felt separated or abandoned in our lives, because Pisces is all about being one with the divine, right? And so living in a patriarchy like I get started to get excited. We actually have that division already built in, right? Like a patriarchal God is, up in the sky, and it's a, God of particular demands and dogma. And so we already have that built in as part of our religious trauma. And so this tonight is really an opportunity to be with the places in our heart where we felt abandoned, and not just by others, but by the divine. So there might be some religious trauma there that we can actually tap into tonight if that feels right for you. If not, it could be places where we feel like a victim, where we feel victimized, where we feel like we can't quite, connect with our divine self, or we feel unworthy of that, or whatever all the issues are. You don't have to know what they are. I'm going to lead you in this process, and we're going to walk through it together. But I'm trying to kind of unpack so you understand the relationship with the lunar cycle itself, and with this moment in time where we are with the dark moon, and how it all relates to our psyche and to our narratives that are happening, and to our heart and the places um, where we've suffered, I guess we could say, where we have pain. And ultimately, we bring these places up so that these places can be healed, right? So that these places can receive the love, and that we can kind of tune in and go all the way through, and merge with the mother, merge with the divine, and receive the love fully, right? Without having some of those walls up, right? And receive the love in all of these places that we haven't been able to, and sometimes, it's because of fear. Sometimes we'll find, just great sorrow and pain, and sometimes we'll find shame, and sometimes we'll find anger. So as we do this process, the only thing you have to like remember is to like not judge. Just be in the process. Try to have a quiet space around you so that you're not interrupted, and just drop in, allow yourself to feel and be with. And I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk you through it, and we'll use some drumming, we'll use some, meditative practices. And yeah. So, any questions on that? No, probably not. Okay. So, let's take a deep breath. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. Mine will be closed most of the time. And taking a deep breath here. I'm going to start with an invocation to the Great Mother. And as I do that, you can kind of just feel your feet on the floor, feel the chair, whatever you're sitting on. I do advise that you sit rather than lay down, but it's your choice. Yeah, and just let yourself really feel the earth underneath you, right? And so just allowing yourself to connect with your breath. Dear Mother, I bow my head, heart, and womb to you, for you are the creatrix and the creation. From your womb, the 10,000 things are born. I ask that you bring us close, awaken us, keep us in your flow of divine grace. Hold us in your ecstatic presence where all veils are dissolved, leaving only your whispering truth as our teacher. Let us drink from your cup of mercy and merge with you into the annihilation of our being forever and ever, dear Mother. Yeah, and so just breathing and allowing. Yeah. And so just connect with your breath, and letting your breath come all the way down into your womb, the sacral womb, if you want to bring your hands there. And then just take a minute. We're going to invite the feminine wisdom keepers, which are all the intermediaries between the great primordial mother and yourself. I'm going to invite your guides, all of our guides and feminine wisdom keepers, which are in all traditions. It could be ones that you've worked with, ones that you haven't. For example, Mary Magdalene. It could be Kali or Kuan Yin or any of those wisdom keepers. And so some of them might kind of pop into your mind's eye. And so just welcoming them, welcoming your main helping spirit, whether you know who that is or not. We all have a main helping spirit. And so just welcoming them. And then welcoming the ancient ancestral mothers, the wise and well, that have walked this earth and that are loving us and supporting us from the ancient prehistory times, and they're right here with us. And just feeling that love and their blessings all around you. Yeah, and as you continue to breathe into your womb space, into your sacral womb, which is your pelvic cavity, lower abdomen. Yeah. Then I want you to take a minute to envision yourself like receiving the love, the unconditional love of the mother, that Piscean love that flows like water. Just receiving that from all of the guides around you, and even from the dark moon herself. Yeah. And then bringing one hand, your right hand, to your heart, and keeping your left hand on your womb. And then just breathing here, letting that regulate for a minute. Just feeling that love. A feeling like all the love is all around you, and even visualizing that dark moon, the moon in its darkness, and then letting that kind of come closer and closer and closer until literally you're sitting in the moon and you're sitting in the dark of the moon. And it's just pure love, pure safety. Now I'd like you to direct your attention to your heart, where your right hand is. And knowing that there's this intelligent wisdom within you, that you don't have to figure anything out. You just have to allow and listen. And allowing yourself to bring into your awareness. It's like asking that deeper intelligence within yourself to bring into awareness the places in your heart that you have felt abandoned by the divine, abandoned. by what we would call God or your idea of God. Maybe even before you resonated with the mother or the great mother, or maybe even as you're getting to know the mother and the feminine within you. And so connecting and allowing and inviting the places in your heart that feel sadness or sorrow or abandonment of any kind, or where you felt victimized or victimization, maybe because of your gender of being a woman and seeing and feeling and experiencing the injustices. And so just allowing yourself to connect and to be with, be present with. We don't have to fix anything. We don't have to judge. Just be with whatever's arising in your heart, with all of the places really that are needing the love, that are thirsty for that love of the mother, the unconditional compassion, the water. And just noticing what's there. And allowing yourself to breathe and just be with. And maybe there's just a layer of fear. Or maybe there's kind of like a black nothingness. Maybe there's numbness. And maybe there's just sorrow and sadness and grief. So just giving yourself a minute. And as you continue to it's like just kind of waiting in a way for whatever's in your heart to rise, to be felt, to be seen, to be acknowledged, right? Just being very gentle with yourself. And as you do that, I'm going to invite you to sound. We're going to sound from our heart, and we're going to sound the ah sound. And you're just going to allow your exhale to sound, right? It's not like you're putting effort. This is not singing. This is not performative. This is just like, ah, like it just, or it could be, ah, whatever organically, whatever tone, whatever comes out. And there's moments where you don't want to sound and you want to be in the stillness and you just want to feel and give room. And maybe there's tears because Pisces is a very watery sign. So we might start to feel some of the waters moving, and we want to invite that as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of sounding with you, but everyone is muted and you can sound at your own pace, and just notice what happens when you sound. What the intention is that it'll start to actually move. It'll start to move the energy in a very gentle, loving way. We're doing the ah sound, by the way. And just noticing if there's thoughts that are coming through, allow them to come through. If there's narratives, or there's like, oh yeah, there's this place there, I feel so lonely, or there's this place in me that feels all these like tears are rising, or sorrow, and just staying with, allowing. Letting go of any judgment, letting go of any narratives, or, I mean, not narratives, agendas, criticism to yourself. Just noticing if there's any of that going on in your thoughts, and just dropping in even more to the sound, to the feelings, to your emotional body, and trusting that that intelligence is bringing up exactly what's needed to be seen. And maybe it's bringing up some of your own judgments, some of your own ways that you criticize or put yourself down or victimize yourself. So that could be happening too. And then just sound right into that. Taking breaks whenever you need them. If you feel a moment of just being still and being with whatever is moving, whatever you're noticing, breathing into that. Giving yourself permission to allow the waters to flow, to allow the tears to be shed. Pisces is also the sign that deals with the immortality, the aspect of our soul, these places of the unseen, the mystery. And so, you know, how do those themes hit you? You know, whether you've had grief around someone passing, someone dying around you, or fear, grief around your own, the thought of your own death. And so just really giving yourself permission to open the portals of any of these places in your heart, and again, letting that intelligence within your own being guide you. And then sounding right into that. yourself as you're moving through that and sounding, allowing yourself to continue to move through it, to continue to receive the unconditional love of the Pisces energy, to receive the unconditional love of the mother that's connected to your soul. So it's like if you keep dropping in through all those layers, you come into this place of peace. That is who you are, right? That's always there. It's your soul's essence. It's the perfected aspect of your soul. And so allowing yourself to just drop in there and like surrender all that might be stirred up in your heart, to surrender it into the womb of the mother, into the holy dark, right? Into the dark mother, but we're talking about the holiness. We're talking about the womb. We're talking about the void, right? Allowing yourself to drop into that as you keep sounding. And then I'm going to introduce the ooh sound, which is like connected to your sacral womb, and invite you to do ooh or ah or combination thereof, just organically. Like keep moving, let it move through you. And I'm going to be doing combination, but you don't have to follow me. I want you to follow your own instincts. And sometimes you'll notice that the sound, actually there's this kind of wave moving through you. And you just kind of organically are moving. And that's part of just dropping in even more and allowing your physical body to be in this very watery ocean of love, right? It's like dropping in and letting that move. And not just touch your heart, but really touching every part of you. And so letting yourself kind of sway and intuitively move, organically move with the sound. And so all we're doing is listening, right? Listening, feeling, sensing, and letting ourselves drop into this place where this current, this river, this ocean that we call the mother, primordial essence that feeds our soul. Oh, and all of the separation dissolves between what's you, what's the mother. And before that, it's like where the pain is, where the peace is, and then where's the great mother, the womb, right? It's like it all dissolves into oneness. And you just feel held and supported. And as I am going to play a little bit the drum and do a sacred song, a medicine song, just allow yourself to receive that and to keep dissolving, keep just dropping in, allowing through the sound. So just breathing in wherever you are in this moment. And bringing your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your sacral womb again, and breathing in, letting these two places regulate with each other. And breathing here. And we're going to close this ritual for today. You can always do it again and again and again. But for today, we're going to close this ritual. And as we're closing, let us bring the sound of AUM, which actually regulates all of the 3 wombs. And we're going to do 3 of those. Okay. And then envision the dark moon nourishing you, not just all around you, but in your heart. Envision her there. This dark moon right in your heart. Nourishing you, nourishing your heart. And then letting her drop down into your sacral womb, into your womb, your lower abdomen area, pelvic cavity. And then visualizing her there and just feeling the nourishment, the love, compassion. Yeah, and letting that whole area expand with her, right? Your sacral, your root. And then bringing her to your head womb, to your whole head is your head womb. And then visualizing her there, starting maybe with the third eye and seeing the dark of the moon, the round dark moon. And this whole cavity activating the creative thoughts from the feminine, the creative inspiration. And then bringing her back to your heart, right? The dark moon, like a round circle, darkish, bluish color. And then letting that expand with each breath. Expand, expand, expand until it's like in your head and in your sacral womb, and it's expanding like a sphere, and then surpassing your physical body, and then you're in the dark womb of the moon, right? And then you're being held again. And just let that integrate with a couple of breaths there. And then just bowing in gratitude for the moon and her frequencies and her love, and thanking, and we thank your main helping spirit and intelligence within you. We thank your soul. We thank all of your guides, the ancient ancestral mothers, feminine wisdom keepers, and we thank great Mother Source and all of the helping spirits, all of the gatekeepers of the fire and water, and the air and the earth and the ether. And there's also some spirit animals around, because I know there's a lot of animal lovers here, and even if there weren't, there's spirit animals also around that I could feel and see. So we want to thank them as well for assisting. And so last but not least, I want you to send from your heart, from the acknowledgement of the mother, of the great mother, divine mother within you, from the acknowledgement and the power that she grants each one of us, her sovereignty, the power invested in you. Send the blessings to all of those around you, to your family, to your friends, and to all those around the world that might be needing those blessings now, to your surroundings, to your animals, to anything that you can see that comes into your consciousness that you want to send blessings to, because you're acknowledging the divine within them when you do that, and you're activating it just by you acknowledging it and sending that blessing. And that's a power that we all have as human beings. Yeah. Beautiful. So I'm going to end the recording. Many blessings for the